Hey guys, what's up? My name's Cameron. To all the 5 people watching, I'm gonna go ahead and apologize for the quality because I don't have my camera on me because I am at work right now. And I don't want to record on my phone because it would be a weird angle. And as you can tell by this professional setup, I am all about angles. So no one was gonna tell me that photo booth does not fill the whole screen. So y'all fake. I'm just saying. I'm just gonna talk about my first job, which was at a restaurant called Country Kitchen. So my birthday is in April, so I'm pretty young compared to all my friends, and they all like had jobs at restaurants, and they were like waitresses, and they loved it. They made good money. Like my friend Kelly, she worked at Tequila's, which is our little Mexican restaurant in town, and I wanted to be Kelly because she got to like scoop the little chips out of a trash can. And I applied at like a bunch of different places right when I turned 16, but no one called me back, including Dairy Queen. So a family friend of mine owns this restaurant called Country Kitchen, and she was like, "Yeah, we just had a bunch of people quit. Like you can have this job as a dishwasher." And I was like, "A a dishwasher? Like I want to be a server." But the funny thing is, I could barely talk to anyone in public, so I don't know why I thought I was going to be a server. I took the job as the dishwasher because I was like, you know what? I drive a Chevy Malibu now. Like, I need some money to put some gas in her tank. But I didn't know anyone who worked there besides like our family friend who owned it, but she wasn't there on like weekdays when I was there. So Kim, who's the owner of the restaurant and like a great family friend of ours, like I love that woman. Kim, if you're watching this, hey. She texted me and was like, I won't be there today whenever you get in. Like, you're going to be working with this girl. We'll just call her Rachel for the purposes of this video. You're going to be working with Rachel and she's going to show you the ropes or whatever. And I was like, okay, sounds good. So I get off school and then I go there right when I get off school. I get there at like 3:30 and I meet Rachel and I don't know, things were going fine. She was just like chatting it up. She loves Fleetwood Mac. I knew that about her. So Rachel's just like showing me around Country Kitchen. Like, here's your dishwashing station where you will wash your dishes, as dishwashers do. So then she's like showing me stuff in the kitchen because she was like,
I'm assuming you're going to be cooking too.
and I was like, what? Like, I don't know. Kim just told me I was going to be dishwashing. She was like,
Oh, I'm sure you'll be cooking.
so I was like, okay. So she was like showing me all this stuff in the kitchen. And she was like,
It's actually the dishwasher's job to clean out the deep fryer every day.
and I was like, okay, I didn't know any different. The funny thing is, though, as soon as I started cooking, they were like, it's the cook's job to clean the fryer out. And I was like, hmm, ain't that something? So Rachel is just like showing me how to clean out this like deep fryer or whatever. And you had to like change the sheet at the bottom and like scrub it out. And then you had to like push it into the fryer. So once the fryer was turned off, then you would like release the oil and then it would all come out into like this paper. I don't know why I'm explaining it to you because you'll probably never clean the fryer there, but so she's like showing me she's cleaning it or whatever, just like talking shit about the other people who can't clean the fryer. I'm like, yes, Rachel, spill the beans, spill the tea, spill the potato salad. And then afterwards you have to like get this hose out of the machine and it like sprays the hot oil and you like clean the fryer with the oil. So anyway, we're just like chatting it up. Rachel, she's just wearing like a t-shirt and some athletic shorts, real casual in the kitchen, in the CK as we call it. And she's just like spraying the oil. Then all of a sudden, the like tube of the hot oil just explodes everywhere. And it just starts like spraying hot oil everywhere. She puts it on her body, like she throws it down and it starts spraying the hot oil all over her clothes. She's just wearing athletic shorts, so it's like burning through her skin. It's my first day. I'm like, I don't know what the heck is going on. And she's like, go get Jeff, go get Jeff. But like, it is literally my first day. I don't know who Jeff is. So I'm like, what? And she's like, he's in the garage, go get him. So I go out into the garage and I'm like freaking out because there's hot oil being sprayed in the kitchen right now. And there's just 5 men who all are like Harley Davidson, like motorcycle riding, like they're real tough. They're like, I just went out there and I was like, Jeff? And none of them said a word. They all just stared at me. And I was like, well, Rachel is on fire right now. So, and then one of them got up, who I later learned was Jeff. And he got up and just like walked in and was like, huh? So we eventually, Jeff and Rachel, they get the stuff put out. It's all good. We clean up the hot oil. And I'm like, Rachel, like, girl, are you okay? Like, you just got sprayed with hot oil. And she's like,
Yeah, my pants caught most of it.
so she just changed pants and we continued to work. One time when I was working with Rachel, she told me this story about she was going through all her brother's stuff and she like found this old like poetry book and she like opened it and in the inside there was like a the pages had been cut out and it was like a little stowaway like hiding spot and she found weed in it and I thought it was so funny because she was just the way she told it was so funny. And then one day it was me, Rachel, and Kim, and I was like, oh Rachel, like tell Kim that story you told me. And Rachel was like,
I don't know. It wasn't really that funny. Like, I don't have to tell it.
so at the beginning it was not that enjoyable, honestly, just because I didn't have that many friends that worked there. Like my other dishwasher and I would just talk about like hunting and fishing and football, which are all of my favorite pastimes, but like we just didn't get along that well. Or it's not that we didn't get along, it's just that like I didn't care what they talked about. Eventually this woman, we'll call her Suzanne Marguerite. So Suzanne Marguerite started working there and she was like in the kitchen and me and Suzanne Marguerite like hit it off right away. Like she was so friendly to me. We would talk and she would be like, oh, like she just asked me about my dogs and I was like, oh yeah, I have like a beagle. And she was like, I had a beagle one time until the neighborhood kids threw poison in my yard and it died. When she told me that though, it clicked in my head because I live in a small town. I was like, I know where Suzanne Marguerite lives because she lived right on the corner, like by our high school, and you couldn't see around the corner because she had so many shrubs in her, or like vines growing out of the side of her house and like this big garden where eventually the city had to like tell her you have to take your garden out of your front yard. And she thought it was so unfair because the city was telling her what to do with her land. And but honestly, I could never see when I was trying to cross the road. Apparently, we all bullied her, is what she thought, except me, because her one like Friday night, she was walking around with this like, you know, like journalists have that little notepad that they walk around with. She was walking around the kitchen just like taking notes with her notepad, and she came up to me and she was like, now what's your last name? And I like told her, and she was like, be expecting a message from me on Facebook, which never came. So that was on a Friday night. And then like I come into work like the next Friday and everyone's like so upset. And apparently Suzanne Marguerite had written a letter to Kim and was like, this is all the things that you have done me wrong. Like everyone here is a bully. Like I hate you all. You all treat me like I'm dirt. Which I never really saw. I guess she just couldn't take the heat. So she got out of the country kitchen. Although thinking back on it as I'm telling this story, I think that there was one night when one of my coworkers flipped Suzanne Marguerite off because she didn't take the fish out of the fryer on time. But I digress. Since Suzanne Marguerite was no longer with us, we were short-staffed on this Friday, and Kim was like, do you know anyone who needs a job? And I said, yes. I knew my friend Brooke. We were really good friends at the time, and she was talking about how she needed a job, like literally that day at lunch. So I called her, and she didn't answer her phone. So then I went and got the phone book out of the front of Country Kitchen and looked up her home phone number, and I called her home phone, and her mom picked up the phone and was like, hello? And I said, is Brooke there? Like I was about to invite her to a slumber party, and her mom was all like, yeah. So anyway, so I talked to Brooke. I'm like, do you want a job right now? And she was like, I guess. So I was like, come to Country Kitchen now. And Brooke was like on Platinum Chef and all this stuff. So she loved to cook. So I was like, we got ourselves a good one here. So Brooke comes in and like me and her are instantly thrown in the kitchen and like other people are put on dishwashing and like we ran that fish out because Friday night was fish night and me and Brooke were like a really good team. Like we worked so well together on that night. And then Kim was like, well, do you want, like, you can keep coming back, Brooke? And Brooke was like, okay, here I am. So when Brooke started working is really like when my time at Country Kitchen really started to like go upward. Like, can he say like one more time? Oh my God. We would have so much fun working together. Like, I don't know why they put us in the kitchen because we would just get into like,
Crazy hijinks together and like
we would throw food at each other. We were so silly. And then also at the same time, this boy named Alex, who went to Beth's high school, started working there, and we became really good friends. Probably like, who is Beth? I forgot to add a part. Sorry. And it was just so fun. Like the work environment was really fun. I didn't even like cooking or washing dishes, but like when I was with them in the kitchen, the energy was just so good. So above Country Kitchen, there's like Country Kitchen is like a flat, almost like a trailer, and then above it there's like an apartment. And then Rachel had moved into the apartment, but it was under one condition from Kim is that her boyfriend was not allowed to come over because her boyfriend was like I said, I'm from a small town. Her boyfriend was bad news. Like he didn't even live in this town. He lived in the next town over, but apparently he was like into drugs and like bad stuff. He was not allowed over. And like if we ever saw him over, we were supposed to tell Kim like, "Hey, Rachel's boyfriend is over. He needs to leave." So one night I'm like, it's a Friday night. It's super stressful because a lot of people love fish. So I'm like walking outside to the cooler. It was like 7:30 and we didn't close until 8. From above, I get hit by this water balloon and I'm soaking wet. I'm so mad because I was already frustrated to begin with from work. And I like look up and it was Rachel's kids. And Rachel's kids like were throwing water balloons at me. And I literally screamed at them, "What the because like why are you throwing water balloons at me?" So then I was soaking wet for the last like half hour of work and I was just so mad. They were just like up there laughing and Rachel was with them and Rachel was laughing.
It ain't funny, Rachel. Rachel, this ain't funny, Rachel.
So then whatever. I definitely heard a man's voice, but I couldn't really see because the porch was like above me. I can't see. But I had this feeling that Rachel's boyfriend was there. And the next day, I went and took the ACT with writing because I thought I was going to go to UCLA, but roll Tide. So I get out of my ACT, and you have to have your phone off because it's like really secure. So I opened my phone to like all these texts. Like my phone was like blowing up, and it was in our Country Kitchen group chat, and I was like, what is going on? And I received these like texts that like the police were there and everything. And I was like, what? And then I get this like picture of this wagon wheel that was a decoration outside a Country Kitchen launched through the window. And there's just like glass everywhere. And they were like, someone has vandalized Country Kitchen. And immediately I was like, it was Rachel's boyfriend, wasn't it? Allegedly, what I got down. So apparently what the story was is that Rachel and her boyfriend got in a fight the night before, and then Rachel's boyfriend like stormed down the stairs and they were fighting in the parking lot, and he just decided to throw this wagon wheel through the window of Country Kitchen because that'll really show Rachel right there. And Kim was there in the morning with the cops, and Kim was like, really, you don't know who did this? And she was like, it could have been anyone. Anyone could have came to Country Kitchen in the middle of the night and throw this wheel through the window, but I don't know. And eventually Rachel was like, or it could have been my boyfriend. I don't really know. I mean, who's to say? But so needless to say, Rachel got fired that day, which in hindsight, I was like, oh, okay, sorry, bye, Rachel. But what really happened was she was the like head cook every weekday in the mornings, which meant that me, Brooke, and Alex had to start filling in these shifts, which for me, as a 17-year-old that summer, meant working 40 hours a week, sometimes over 40 hours a week at this restaurant, and I was on swim team. I mean, I was making good money, but like, I was literally from when I woke up until when I went to sleep, I was at Country Kitchen. I lost 20 pounds that summer because of all the swimming I guess I was doing, and because I just was getting tired of eating those cheeseburgers and fries. The stress eventually was like getting to us because we're just 17-year-olds and we were running this restaurant. Like we were always there cooking, dishwashing. We were running the entire back part of the restaurant. I still never got to serve, but that's beside the point because there was never a server that threw a wheel through the window, so I guess there was never an opening. The happy-go-lucky work environment that me and Brooke and Alex were having eventually at like got a little messy because we would get like super busy in shifts. And I love Brooke, and I'm sure she's going to watch this, but she was such a serious cook. So she would be like cutting these carrots and be like,
This is a Chifferow cut.
and I was like, there are 15 orders in the window. Like, I don't give a care about this cut. Like, can you just get that potato salad? Because we gotta
get moving.
And she just didn't get that. So like one night Brooke was like yelling at me about some waffle fries she needed, and I had them on this little like drip pan, and I just threw them at her. Just threw them right at her. Hit her. The drip pan hit her right in the head, and it like made like a like in hindsight, it was probably very bad that I threw this metal pan at her head. There was one night where we were so busy, and like people who don't work in restaurants don't really understand how stressful it is to be in the kitchen on a busy night, especially when you're understaffed. And we finally got through the rush of the night, and I was like, whew, like I was like over in the back, like washing this cutting board in the sink, and I was like, you know, this night just made me want to jump out the window. And I pretended to like launch myself out the window, but I'm so lanky that I like threw my arms against the window, and it actually shattered like completely. It made like a cartoon like, and everyone in the like restaurant like turned around. They were like, what? And my Kim was like, it's okay, because it was literally like an accident. I didn't intentionally break that window. It's all about intention, I'm saying. So all the while, our friends Parker and Drew also started working there. So like there was the 5 of us working there, and we always hung out. Like we would go to work and then hang out after work too. But we also had other friends in our friend group. So they would always be like, all y'all ever talk about is Country Kitchen. Like, can you talk about something else? But it was just so hard because like that was literally our life. Like we didn't do anything outside of Country Kitchen. And I think it got to the point where like it was so annoying to anyone else to hear the words Country Kitchen. But like everyone knew that we all worked together at Country Kitchen. So I don't know what else they wanted me to talk about. My Chevy Malibu? Like, come on now. So after that summer, they eventually hired someone. I think her name was Cindy. And I was like, you know what? It's my senior year of high school. Like, Country Kitchen ain't holding me back. But, like, it still held me back. Like, I was still there the same amount of time. But then our friend Jared started working there. So it was literally just our friends in the kitchen. Like, it was no longer, like, random people. Like, it was literally only our friend group in the kitchen. So, like, if we ever wanted to go do something on a Friday night, there was no possible way all of us could have gone, because we would all have to have taken off work, and there would not be a single person in the kitchen.
And that's just on period.
I had been at Country Kitchen, me and all my friends, we had been there for a while, so like we were really close with Kim, and the apartment upstairs was vacant because, you know, Rachel and her boyfriend got evicted. So basically one night we were like, Kim, can we please just have like a little get together above the restaurant? Like, it's not going to be a big deal. Like, we're just going to like watch movies, play video games, whatever. And she was like, yeah, that's fine. We were just like hanging out in Rachel's room because she left the couch there. We were just like sitting there, and then we hear this bang on the door, like literal like, and we were like, oh shit, it's the cops. Like, they're coming to get us. We didn't even do anything wrong, but we were like, shit, tonight is the night we go to jail. We open the door and it's Kim, and she had just came from a wedding, and she was like, hey y'all, what's up? Y'all, like, we hanging out? And we're like, yeah, Kim, we hanging out. Like, this is your house, baby. Like, come hang out. So we were like, Kim, like, is it okay if we just like go downstairs and make a little snack while we're hanging out? She's like, yeah, that's fine. I don't care. So we go downstairs, and we made a little bowl of queso. It was like me, Drew, and Parker. Maybe Alex was there. I don't really know. We were just like sitting around eating our bowl of queso, smacking on it. Alex wasn't there. Our friend Vinny was there, though. Why does it matter? Anyway, we were eating this bowl of queso, and then all of a sudden, we just hear like this, like something fell upstairs. And we were like, it's gotta be Kim. Like, Kim just, I don't know what she did, but she's not okay. So we like go upstairs, and Kim just, she's sleeping. And we put a blanket over her. We said, good night, Kim. Eventually, I left my hometown and went to school, so I had to part ways with Country Kitchen. As much as like Country Kitchen was like a strange place to be at, and like as much as I hated washing dishes, like I really think that that place was like it made me into who I am today, honestly. It made me into who I am today, honestly, because like Kim put such a work ethic into us as much as we goofed off. Like, Kim, if you're watching this video, you are the reason that I consider myself a hard worker. Like, I cannot thank you enough for all that you did for us kids, and I love you. Thank you for being the owner of Country Kitchen. That's about all I have to say.